Are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 60th episode of your favorite nerdy podcast, and that podcast being Comic.
Hey! Weeba! Ha! Ha!
I'm your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka hashtag send it to James, aka I had one for this. Hold on. Oh, Beast Mode, bitch. And I got my co-host here with me.
It's your boy Chris, aka James. Hit me with the music, brother. Black Santa. We really do need to work on our music here. AKA revere your tribal Santa. That's right. I will lead all Santas at the table. That's coming soon too. AKA super cold. What? Water. Sponsored by nobody, because we still don't got those sponsors yet. But damn it, they coming. They coming. Manscaped, I'm telling you, man. Yo, Wave of Shadows, man. Seriously, all those like games sponsors. I'm the ultimate gamer. I'll be perfect. I won't have to lie like some of those other YouTubers do, talking about they be playing the game and they be doing this and that. Nah, I'll be up in there dominating your leaderboard. So come on, man. Come to your boy.
Dominating, he said.
Dominating.
That's right. Well, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Right off the bat, all that usual nonsense. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to kick it off with talking about a little something that it's going to be very interesting to get Chris's point of view, because I know even though both of us are part of this comic and nerdy community, we're kind of on different ends a little bit. So I'm going to tell you the story of kind of what happened, and then you're going to give me kind of your opinion of what you think, or maybe something that you think could have been done differently, better, or for worse. Okay. All right. So this last weekend, the C2E2 Comic-Con, which is held in Chicago, the Chicago Convention Entertainment Expo, whatever, Comic Entertainment Expo, happened. All right. So it's one of the bigger ones that goes down for the year. A lot of people like to travel to attend it. Lots of vendors, humongous room, you get the idea. So apparently at this comic book convention, there was a vendor called Black Flag Comics, and their usual like artist Clayton Crane is kind of the guy who does a lot of their exclusive variant covers, etc., etc. Yeah. So for this particular convention, they took one of Clayton Crane's variants for Ultimate Fallout 4, which they had already had at a previous convention. And what they did was they stapled over it this like acetate plastic cover that had like a weird American flag, whatever design on it. So it was like this see-through plastic with American flag stripes over this really ugly Ultimate Fallout 4 variant that they had. And they said that there was only 750 available, and that they were going to charge $85 a pop for this book. Okay. Now, apparently, and this is where I'm going to like not name any names, because I really don't want to get involved in the drama that is going on, because there is a lot of drama. I know might sound ridiculous, Chris, but this is like all everyone is talking about at all, like on Instagram, YouTube, wherever. Okay. So apparently the shop just made several deals with certain people before the show to sell a big chunk of the books, kind of like before they even opened to the public. So for example, like one person showed up and picked up his 150 that he got. Keep in mind, this is like $85 a book, and whatever. And then like in line, the top few people who of course were there first because they had exhibitor passes, so they were allowed in the building early. They got their little advantage there, blah blah blah. They were buying numbers exceeding like let's just say like between 50 and 200 copies.
You said it was only 700 of them, right?
750 of them all together.
Okay, 750. Okay.
Okay, so then after like that whole wave happened, they upped the price to $100 for
What?
everyone who was remaining in line. The book sold out within 20 to 30 minutes, and a lot of people were very notably, visibly, audibly upset about the situation and the fact that they were waiting in line for however long and were not able to purchase one. So it continues a little bit. I know this is the part you're going to be less interested in, but CGC was actually at C2E2. They offer on-site grading for that particular convention because it's a huge convention hall and they take the downstairs and do on-site grading. Now they graded a few of those at like the 9.9, 10.0 grade, which is like a unicorn basically. It's essentially unheard of for them to be doing that, but they did it. And the main issue, there was another main issue. Main issue number one, that this shop just stapled this cover over it. It wasn't like manufactured correctly, so it's not like, it was weird because the fact that that CGC was saying that it was a legitimate book when it was not published that way. It was published a certain way, and the shop just stapled something over it. And then number two, Marvel had no idea, like actual Marvel Publishing had no idea that they were doing this and then reselling it as a different exclusive variant or whatever. So they were not happy with Black Flag for doing this either. Okay, so there you go. What do you think right off the bat of this situation I've described?
Wow, it seems really messed up in a lot of ways. One, couldn't they get in a lot of trouble with Marvel? What we got here? What we got?
Zadak says, I feel like we're talking acetate gate. Yes, they have dubbed it acetate gate because of the acetate cover that was stapled over. Yes, that is what we're talking about.
Well, I would assume, like, couldn't they get in really big trouble with Marvel for something like that?
I would think so.
That's what I'm saying. Like one, why would you even? Not just the fact that you can get in trouble with Marvel. Like, I wouldn't want to piss them off unless I don't want to have any type of relationship with them. Like, I would be very careful, especially in their kind of situation, their field, to kind of piss Marvel and get blackballed by Marvel, because this is something that can get you blackballed.
Right. 100%.
Why in like it seems like it seemed kind of messed up in a way to like have all these people excited for this thing, and then all of a sudden we sold most of it before these people even had a chance to get it. And then we raised the price more once the people we gave it to, then all of a sudden we're raising the price up to 100. That seems a little messed up too. For the people who had to wait, and then it gets 100, and then no matter what, you didn't even get it anyway because it didn't completely sold out. So the way you advertised it was kind of wrong.
Yes.
So that's kind of messed up too. And then like when you was talking about the grading and everything, and you kind of explained it, but considering the fact that they stapled stuff up there and all this other stuff, should it have never gotten a 10?
Not only should it not have gotten a 10,
right,
but also if you were to do that with any other kind of book, like let's say you have just for example, just like, I know this is different because it's a different age or whatever, but let's just say you have an Amazing Spider-Man #1, like the #1, and it's a detached cover, and you say, well, you know what, let me go buy a reproduced cover and staple it onto it myself and send it in. So they would call that they would put a different color label across the top and call it a repro cover. And the fact that you added staples, so it's basically, it's not a complete book. It's not how it was manufactured and published, and therefore they notate that. Now with this one,
because it ruins the book technically, right?
Correct. Okay, so Zadak has given us some info here. So he says that Marvel is not happy and that the SVP of distribution or something is investigating. Yes, and then the resellers. So okay, so that was another big thing. Obviously, if you're buying 75 copies, or however many, maybe you're buying some from other people for other people too, whatever the case may be. But if you're buying 75 to 150 or 200, whatever it is, you're not keeping all of them. Clearly, you're going to be reselling them at a
Yep.
higher price to other people. It's fine. I get it. I'm a reseller myself. It's my job to do that, but I'm not out here buying 75 copies of a convention exclusive either. So it's definitely a little bit different. So these resellers cornered 50% of those copies before the line could even get one. Yes, and then the cover is nasty. I said the cover was ass the first time that they printed it, and I was like, why the fuck? I was so in my own haze because I had my own show go on this weekend that I was focused on, that when I finally like came out of it and opened Instagram, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like it was insanity that I was seeing. I was like, I'm just like excited to share my experience at Charlotte. And I was like, I'm not even gonna like post anything because right now people are just flipping out on everything. So yeah, the cover was gross the first time that they did it. I don't understand why they even wanted to do it a second time. Probably actually because none of them sold, would be my best guess, because it was so bad that none of them really sold, and that's why they took the 750 or whatever that didn't sell, stapled that cover on, and tried to pass it off as a new variant to resell it again. So yeah, a lot of shenanigans there. Yeah, man, it's just been I don't even know. It's just been fucking crazy. Everyone's going nuts on each other. The people that were involved in buying so many of them have tried to like make statements and retract statements and then like make more other different statements again. Black Flag itself has said that what was their thing? Their excuse or whatever was, usually when we have a convent or exclusive, it doesn't sell all the way, so we're not going to limit the way we sell or whatever, because there's always a chance that we're not going to sell out. It was kind of their thing, I guess. So that was their statement. And then they pulled that statement and like turned off commenting for their stuff and started like blocking everybody. Oh my goodness. Hold on, we have some more comments here. CBCS, the other major grading company, has said that any that they get they get in for grading gets nothing above a 7.0 because of the extra staples added. Okay. All right. eBay is taking listings down because people are reporting them counterfeit. I did see that too, that there are some trolls reporting all listings of this book as counterfeit. And so eBay is like taking a lot of them down, which is pretty funny. Talk to G knows more on it. And Tom and Jem put out a counterfeit top 10 bestseller list to try to legitimize the UF4. Yeah, again, I'm not gonna like try to sit and name names of people who are involved in it, because that's not really what I'm about here. But I just wanted to talk about the situation in general.
No, because again, and it's like, dude, look at Marvel's point of view on this, because it's like you said, other people are buying all those to sell those. So now you already had these guys sell this crap and they should have done it. And then you got random people selling it for higher prices or whatever the price be. Now it's just out of control. So if I'm Marvel, I am furious. I'm like, are you mad? Like, yeah, investigation. And honestly, if it needs to be, I would take some legal action, because this should have not went down this way at all.
Which is
point two. And honestly, the highest level of punishment I can give, if I'm them, I would seek that to prove a point to like anybody else. Don't do this.
Right. Don't do this. Yes, and I'm with you. And Black Flag should be concerned, in my opinion, because again, like I said, their major artist, their major moneymaker is this guy Clayton Crane, who does pretty much all their exclusives for Marvel, and a lot of them involve like Venom or Carnage. He did a lot of stuff like that. He does pretty good work. I think he's a little overrated, but he that's like, if you lose a contract with Marvel and you're unable to do exclusives through Marvel anymore, you're gonna lose your artists. He ain't gonna stick around. He needs to make his check, so he's out. And then what are you gonna do after that? Nobody's gonna want to be associated with your name. You're gonna have to kind of close it down and open up under something else, which is another thing. So I want to discuss my experience 2 years ago. I went to C2E2 in 2020, and was dubbed the last con on Earth. This was right before Corona shut down everything. So at the Marvel booth, like the official Marvel booth, they had what a lot of people call the Wolverine banana variant. So it was like a negative space John Tyler Christopher cover of Wolverine, where he just he blends into the background because the whole thing is yellow, and then he's etched into the yellow.
Okay.
I went with Justin. We waited in line probably at least an hour, and they had a limit. So there was a limit of what you could buy, up to 10 copies. So I bought 10 and didn't get any more. I think Justin went in line the next day and got another 10. But we had no idea that this was going to be the hot book of basically the hot book of the month. And I'm going to say, like, I will say to anyone who was like in line or whatever, the chances of you picking the hot book of the convention are very slim. And it's like that's why I don't like to play that game very often anyway, because you may end up buying the 10 and then just like nobody wants that fucking book and you're just stuck with 10 of them, and it's like, okay, whatever. But the main part was that Marvel limited you to buying 10 before you had to get back in the back of the line. Fine. But then, we sold them. I think we bought them at 15 a pop, so I paid 150. And then I sold them, like, people were coming right out the gate selling them at 100 a pop, which was insane. So I put mine up for, like, I think 69 shipped or something, because I thought it was funny to do 69. And I just, I just posted them from the hotel. Like, we went back to the hotel room to take a break. I posted them from there, and we walked back to the convention. And by the time I got back to the convention, they had all sold. And I was happy because I paid off my hotel and my flight, and that was it. But then, like, after that, people started putting the price 100, 150, 200. Like, that book reached some crazy heights. Similar to what this Miles book, but that, the Wolverine one was an actual good cover. So from my experience with that, I'd say that what they should have done was just have a limit of what you could buy, get back in line, and buy again, because obviously there are people there that are buying to sell to people who couldn't make it to the convention. I get it, but you have to be reasonable. You can't just have one or two or three people corner the entire market, and then they can set the price at whatever the hell they want, kind of thing. So that, I think, is the difference there. I'm gonna catch up on a couple of comments here. Apparently there's shill bidding going on the eBay listings that have made it to over $2,000 that plan on not paying, that people are petty. That's kind of ridiculous. Carlos says that Black Flag said it was pre-ordered by certain sellers, which is total bullshit. I agree, because when have I ever seen you be able to pre-order a convention exclusive before the convention opens up? So that was a little strange. Yep, they also raised the price from 85 to 100 when they started to run low. Yep, we did mention that, which is kind of crazy.
Like I said, that was fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely insane. I bought from Gus and Justin multiple copies plus a graded one from the con. I think you're talking about the Wolverine book. Yeah, love that Wolverine banana sold all my copies. That one was a great cover. I love that cover myself. It was one of my favorite of the negative space, because he did a whole bunch, especially after that one was so popular. He went ahead and did like 4 or 5 more other ones, but the Wolverine one was really cool. But yeah, then
it's not really that shocking though that Wolverine was the hot one, because that's all it is. Wolverine is everyone's favorite X-Men.
True.
He is the overall face. So if you get like a special new variant of a book of him or something like that, I would be like him or Spider-Man. I wouldn't be shocked if those are like the hottest thing of that month.
He did one of Spider-Man as well. And the funny thing about the Spider-Man one was they printed it on this like really shitty paper. So when people were buying the Spider-Man one, it was coming in damaged. And then if you tried to press it, I actually got a warning from a couple of pressers that are out there, but they were saying that if you tried to press it, it was actually like lifting all the ink and all the
make it worse.
Yeah, like it was just like ruining the paper basically. So that one was an interesting one too. I did end up getting, I think, one of those and then I tried to sell it at under what other people were selling them at. But yeah, the Wolverine one I ended up getting just because I thought it was really cool, and I was like, surely like I can somehow sell them throughout the year, not knowing, of course, that they were all going to sell in the 20 or 30-minute walk it took from my hotel to the convention. It was a pleasant surprise for me, but it was definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
Whatnot should also be in hot shit because of the so-called influencers. I don't know like what can happen to Whatnot at this point. They're basically like a live eBay, Chris. It's like a live shopping experience, this app.
Okay.
So you set up your sale, and you just it's like a live bidding system that all takes place in the app. So it's like as soon as you win something, it's paid for kind of thing. Almost like
So for them, they
calling
probably
in.
don't even really know the situation, right? So I don't. Yeah, I mean,
It's hard to tell. It's just that there are certain people and Whatnot that are super, super popular, and of course, they were some of the ones involved in getting this this issue. You know, so it just kind of everyone just was like attacking that group. Of course,
Right.
yeah, the whole platform is full of people who are just out to empty the pockets, and they don't give a fuck about the community. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think that just a simple limit would have helped that situation, Chris?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, because it again, it just seems so messed up. Definitely, like hearing from the comics, from what people are saying, and what you're saying, that is like you can't pre-order something like that. This ain't a video
Right.
game or something like a
Right.
normal meme. So it comes across as like, how can this one dude pre-order like 100 books? You know, like, dude, come on. Why wouldn't there be a limit?
Right.
Like why would it be that high? And if there is like a limit, like why is it so high? It should be like
Right.
you said in your convention, a 5 to 10 limit book where you can get that and that is. So at least like you have a bigger chance of more people online getting their opportunity to get it instead of it just completely eventually getting to a point where they don't have a chance. And then again, I still don't like the fact they even raised the price because that just seems super shady. Because like when you was at your convention, Marvel didn't raise the price for the Wolverine book after about 100 copies sold, right?
No, they didn't. Yeah, I think that one
definitely
was
without even like letting people know this was a thing. I'm pretty sure they didn't let anybody know beforehand that this could possibly happen, that they might raise the prices up. Right?
Yeah, the price raise was what confused me the most. They claim they raised the price as inventory dwindled, but that was after selling like over 300-400 to the first,
Right.
few
That's
people
what I'm
that
saying.
walked
Yeah.
up to it.
They
Yeah,
didn't
so
advertise beforehand saying, "Hey, when so and so gets sold, we're going to raise the price." They didn't do that, did they?
no, right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Carlos says, "Who comes out the worst? CGC, Black Flag Comics, whatnot?" Question mark. So I don't think that CGC comes out the worst. I think that, I mean, on-site grading. I don't think on-site grading should be a thing to begin with. You're rushing these graders through these books to get them out by the end of the convention.
Ooh,
That a
yes.
lot of people are dropping stacks off at there to get graded real quick, encapsulated, and move on. So for them,
A lot
I'm
of errors
sure it
can happen.
was a lot of error can happen, and a lot of like just the fact that they're being rushed. Oh, this is a brand new book. Oh, it's a convention exclusive. Oh, it's right here from C2E2 from this pretty well established group, Black Flag Comics. Whatever, they must have the licensing, all that kind of stuff legit. Cool, here you go, boom, out the door. And because it's those classic acetate books, like since it's different than just paper, less damages, therefore I'm sure they're just like, oh well, this is completely flawless, whatever. Not trying to like stick up for anybody or anything. I'm just saying,
No doubt.
playing devil's advocate here. I don't think that CGC comes off the worst. Black Flag, I think should have set limits.
Yeah.
And I think that they come off the worst because not only did they not set limits, they raised the price for the next group of people. They basically said "fuck you" to everyone else, and then when they went on social media to talk about it, their customer service was subpar. Let's just kind of put it that way.
Because that first statement you said just reeked of tone deaf. Like it was just a really bad statement to send out, and it's not shocking they retracted and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something else." Like really? Like that was a really bad statement to even send out. Like who's your PR guy?
Right.
Like, his or her ass would have been fired right then and there. Like, are you serious?
And then Whatnot, it's hard to blame the actual platform because they're just a selling platform. Like you, me, anyone could build a Whatnot account, go live, and sell whatever the fuck we want. And if whoever pays for it, buys it, whatever, you ship to them, and that's kind of it. So the people of Whatnot, however, maybe a little bit of the market manipulation, the way that they were buying everything and coming across trying like selling it.
Yeah.
They could be kind of tossed into the blame, but again, I think the blame should mainly go with Black Flag for how they handled the situation start to finish.
Yeah.
Chasing Key says Limit would have helped, probably wouldn't have sold out after people realized it was a bullcrap book. Facts.
Yep.
I think if everyone kind of got their 10 and then people didn't want to wait in that long ass line again, that it would have just kind of fizzled out. Like this wouldn't have even been an issue because everyone would have got what they wanted. Everyone would have been competing against each other for the sale. So you couldn't have risen the price as ridiculously high as it got. He thinks Zatak or Zatak. I'm sorry if I'm saying Zatak 87. Black Flag should have the blame, and then CGC. It wasn't on site. How was it not on site? C2E2 always has on site. Oh, some were graded before the con. Oh man. Oh my gosh, that's a little that I didn't know that. So that's a little interesting right there. Whatnot is going to take a hit due to those influencers getting shit on, maybe, but maybe not. See, the thing with Whatnot is, and I've said this before because I'm not a big fan of Whatnot personally. I just don't like their platform for selling myself. The thing with Whatnot is a lot of the buyers there are gamblers. They're fucking like degenerate gamblers. They love mystery boxes. They love buying cards, like card decks, the what they call like ripping packs or whatever. So they like buy a sealed pack and then the seller opens it and oh, here's what you got, and kind of move it on. Or mystery boxes where you pay for them. They show you the box, you bid up the box to whatever based on what the seller tells you might be in there. and then they open it and show you what you got, kind of thing. It's like there's a lot of that happens. I'm not a fan of that. I think you're just kind of preying on people because the sellers themselves know exactly what's in those fucking boxes and will put them strategically lined up. So like maybe the first one hits and then the second one people bid way up and it's trash and like that kind of thing. So I just don't like Whatnot because of those things. I don't think that Whatnot is really going to die.
For whatever reason, you went out. Like I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
I can hear you. You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
No, I'm not hearing you.
All right. Can you guys hear me in the chat?
Somebody can say in the comments if they're hearing him or if it's something on my end or something, but I can't hear him.
I can hear you just fine, so I'm not sure. Chasing Keys says that they have the acetates for Boston graded already also. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, they can hear us both. So, Chris. Hop out and hop back in, bud. Yeah, so I'm thinking that oh, so they had the acetates for Boston graded already also. So okay, so then what's going on with the Boston part of it is that then they made new rules apparently that for Boston they're going to have like a flipper line almost and a regular like collector line, and they're charging $100 a book for those, and then they are going to set limits for the flipper line of 10 a book, which is kind of crazy. Or which is the good part, but it's like if they had already known that that's what they were supposed to do, it just doesn't make sense to me that they didn't do that to begin with. Yeah, the doubling down on social media, I don't know. It's like, of course they're going to defend themselves. Again, I'm not trying to attack any person. I'm just trying to assess the situation of what happened, and the whole situation I think was a little bit messed up in general. So I'm gonna wait till my buddy Chris gets back in the room here. Hopefully, it was just a little technical difficulty. Can you hear me now, Chris?
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm still not hearing you. I don't know what the hell's going on then. Let me see something, because that's weird. I'm not hearing you.
Somehow, maybe the mic or the audio must have gotten kicked. It's weird that I can hear you. You can't hear me. Sorry, guys, we're having some technical difficulties here, but we're gonna come back in and talk about some other stuff coming up. Hopefully, Chris can get this.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you. You're on the show.
Oh goodness. I don't understand why it would just cut out. All right, guys, we're gonna probably reset the stream here. That way I can see what's going on. Yeah, so we'll be right back.